Hello and welcome everybody to episode 44, I think it is, of the ForbiddenCast. It's funny, after like the first three digits of like whatever whatever number we're on, I always end up forgetting what episode we're at. I think we're at 44. If I'm not wrong, last week was episode 43. I could check, but I really don't. I mean, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. Because I'll have to check anyways once I upload the video. So, haha, joke's on you guys. I mean, it's not really a joke, but you know what I mean. Anyways, everybody, let's jump right into it. Today, I want to talk about a specific video that I just recently watched. It's a Rob Scallon video. If no one's ever heard of Rob Scallon before, Rob Scallon is he's been on YouTube for quite a while. He's released a bunch of his own music on YouTube. He's done a lot of fun videos. He's done like Metallica on a banjo, like Metallica on what is it, on like an upright bass, like he plays Anastasia, like the classic Cliff Burton solo there. He plays it on the upright bass. He's done tons of. He's played For Whom the Bell Tolls, all on like bells. It's really, really cool. He's done a bunch of really creative, fun videos like that. And then he's also done, I think, one of his really popular videos to like at the beginning of his channel was metal in inappropriate places, and where he just basically, I mean, exactly what the name says, you know, like he's playing metal inside of the library or in the shower or on a swing set and just all over the place. So yeah, he had a bunch of silly videos like that, but recently, the type of videos that he's been releasing have been really pretty much educational, honestly. And I've been really enjoying it. I hope he turns it into like a series. And because so far he's had maybe like 4 or 5 videos now. But basically what the little series is, I'm going to put it in a series, is he's been going around and finding kind of like weird, very obscure, complex, not really heard of instruments. Like he did one episode on like a church organ, and it's and how that works and how it makes sound, and and then he tries to write something to become inspired by it and everything like that. It's really, really cool, a really cool concept. And then there's another instrument that he did as well. It's like kind of more of a sound effect instrument, but it is an instrument nonetheless. I forget what it's called. It's really, really cool. Anyways, the way the instrument works is that you got these long glass rods connected to like different like sized like metal, little metal. I don't know if they're pipes or if they're little metal tubes or something like that. But you dip your fingers in water, and basically this is like the same thing whenever someone like puts their dips their finger in their wine, and then they kind of like go around the rim of the glass, of the wine glass, and it makes like a tone. I know my dad's able to do it. I am unfortunately. I mean, I've never really tried, to be fair. So I mean, maybe I could do it, but I know my dad can definitely do it, and it's really, really cool. It always fascinated me as a kid. But like this instrument is basically playing completely off of that idea, and it looks like a big keyboard basically, but with glass rods instead of keys. And then you slide your fingers along these glass rods and then make different pitches. But Hollywood and whatever have used this instrument to make sound effects from movies, mainly like horror movies and stuff like that, because it's a really eerie kind of sound. It's really like sinister, and you can also get some wicked sounds too, because on this instrument it has like these 2 big like metal like cones to amplify the sound, and like what they do to like for like a horror movie sound effect, like they take like a cello bow, and they'll like scrape the side of this like metal cone. It'll make that like kind of like shrieking metallic kind of like you can, I mean, I don't know why I'm making a sound with my voice because I sound like an idiot, but yeah, it gets that like really creepy, eerie sound out of it. And it's really, really cool. But that was another episode that he kind of did in the series. But the latest one he did was personally my favorite, and he did it on modular synthesizers, and he did it with Mr. Andrew Wong, who's another really oops, sorry about that. It's pulled on my microphone cable. Oopsies. I was gonna like clap my hands, but then anyways. But he did it with Mr. Andrew Wong. He's another YouTuber that I've been following for quite a while. Andrew, he does a bunch of stuff with synthesizers. I mean, he knows how to play a whole bunch of instruments, and he also knows how to make like beats out of sounds. I mean, like I think he literally made like just an entire like drum beat out of just sounds that Donald Trump has made. Like it's just silly stuff like that. Like he'll he'll take like a sound that like at a press conference that he's been at or whatever, and like he like pitches it down, and then he adds like some reverb to it or something like that, and he plays with the EQ. He adds some bass and low end to it, and takes out the highs, and then you get that turns into like a bass drum. He adds some punch to it, and then he finds like a like little pop, and then he'll pitch it down and or up or whatever, and he'll turn it into like a snare. Like if you just add some reverb and anything. So I mean, like what's really cool about like ideas about that is the fact that you can literally turn, like with the right program, you can really turn anything into a sample. Anything can be music, really, which is really, really cool. It's kind of like a modern take on how like people were back in the day, like way back in the day, were playing like washboards to just make extra sound to play along with like someone who's got a guitar, and someone who's literally just like banging on some sort of thing to like represent a drum. Like it's really cool. But no, the video that I was actually wanting to talk about was the modular synthesizer one with Rob Scallon and Andrew Wong. Andrew has this gigantic modular synthesizer that I think he said in the video that like literally costs in total, like out of all the different modules, it costs more than his car that he owns. So it's like, it's pretty crazy. Cause yeah, it's no joke. And I mean, I believe it. Like, I mean, just for the one little module on the entire synthesizer, can cost like $100. And then, he has like over 100 different modules. I mean, like, some of them can be $100, some of them can be, $500, some of them can be $1,000. So it's like, yeah, it's crazy. But what's exciting about it is just how it works, how anybody's been able to figure out how to make sound with it is just incredible to me. And plus, I mean, I do personally love the sound of a synthesizer, like especially the modular ones. Well, I mean, I just love all the sounds of synthesizers, to be fair. But yeah, no, it's really cool. They end up playing them around a lot. And for anybody who doesn't know what the modular synthesizer is, it's basically like the big board of like a bunch of wires connecting to one another with like a bunch of like little knobs and shit all over the place. And like little lights popping up and flashing and stuff like that. Like that's what a modular synthesizer is. And it's I think it's incredibly cool. I think it's super interesting how it works, because essentially whenever you do look at it like that, like what you're looking at with all the cables and like how everything's dialed in and like that there is one patch. It's one patch out of a possible, basically infinity different patches that you can make, depending on how many modules and everything you have out of the synthesizer. So I mean, basically the way that like Rob had like kind of like stripped it down to how it basically is kind of like, the one module will make a sound. I forget what kind of module it's called now. Like each of them have like a different kind of names. But like the one sort of module, like the one panel basically, makes like a sound, makes a frequency. It can either be like a square wave or a saw wave or something like that. It's really you turn it on, and then it's just continuously making that sound. And then you can play with the pitch of it and everything like that. You can change the size and everything like that of it. But then it's just got a bunch of outputs. So you can take that sound and then bring it to another module. So with the wires, you connect it to that and bring it to another one. And then that sound is, again, it's just the static. Like say if it was just like a zzz, like it would just be that. You can change it to like be a higher pitch or a lower pitch or whatever, like tune it like that. But like that's the sound. It's not going to be like making music. It's just going to be that kind of plain sound. And then you connect it to another one. You can connect it to a now I forget what it's called. No. Freak, what is it called now? Oh, damn it. A sequencer? Yeah, a sequencer. So a sequencer is really cool because it will take that signal of that just plain kind of sound, and then it'll put it in a sequence of different notes, or of different notes. So like you can add it to a sequencer that has like it'll be in the major scale. So like you can play it, and then you'll see the different like lights light up. So like every time it's playing a different note. So like if it's going each one of the like things, each one of the notes that it's going through, that's cycling through, you can you'll be able to have the ability to pick each of those notes. So it's like if it's going do 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 do, you can take out the second and third. So it's like do 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 do. It will sequence like that, or you can always have it on, or you can. There's also the one that he had in the video. There was like a probable one, so it's like if you have it in the middle, so it's like they're just like little sliders, so you can have it 100% on all the time, so like it'll just play through the entire sequence, or you can have some just completely off, or you can have it like kind of in the middle where it's like every second time it goes through the sequence it'll play, and then another second time it won't play. So it'll be like do 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 do, or like do 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 do. Like I don't know. I'm trying to explain it the best that I can, but it's really really hard. I mean, I sound like an idiot making sound, but like, it's really 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 cool. And most like keyboard synthesizers, at least from what I can tell, do have a sequencer. Like I'm pretty sure the Korg Mini Moog, is that what it's called? No, it's not a Mini Moog. I forget what it's called. Mini Log? Might be the Mini Log. But I know that one there has a sequencer in it, and it's really 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 cool. But the really cool thing about the module synthesizers is like you're building all the sounds from scratch. So it's like you can have a bunch of different modulars that you can play, where you can make a snare sound by layering it between the different modulars and stuff like that. It's beyond cool. I highly highly recommend going to check it out. It's just look up Rob Scallon synth or something like that, and I'm sure it'll be like one of the first recommended things. But like, yeah, holy shit, it's really cool. I mean, I personally love synthesizers. I own 2 of them. They're just the Yamaha Reface series synthesizers, but like, I mean, if I could afford it, I mean, I do love my guitars, don't get me wrong, but like, there's just something so incredibly cool about synthesizers. Just the crazy wicked sounds that you can make of them, and just like, for me anyways, synthesizers just kind of like make me think of space all the time. Like they're very like retro futuristic kind of sounding instruments, and I just love that about them. Um, uh, I mean, like one of my favorite bands, Tupperware Remix Party. Um, they got synthesizers galore on with their stuff. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's really cool. I really recommend checking that out if you got the time. So yeah. Um, so yeah, I mean that I guess that was most of the video. So oopsies. Um, uh, so today's drink that I'm drinking on, because I think a few episodes back I was telling you about an old fashioned that I would make with Captain Morgan's black spiced rum. How I was mixing it with simple syrup, and then I'd put not a pomegranate, grapefruit peel in it, and I was enjoying it quite a bit. Today, it's really cool. There's a at my local liquor store. I don't know if they have them elsewhere, but like they have a JP Weiser, the whiskey company there. They have a like their own like little like make your own style of whiskey thing. So it's like they have like these 5 different little bottles inside of a box with like different kinds of whiskeys. So like there's one that's like that was aged in like a wine barrel. There's one that was like is supposed to have the flavors of like a mix of tobacco and like toffee and something like that. I forget what that one's. I think that one's called Smoky. There's another one that's like just a 5-year-old aged. They have like a spiced one, and then they have like a Canadian dry, a Canadian rye, or whatever. And yeah, and then it gives you like these little recipes on like how much of each of them to mix together, and then it gives you this like big empty like Mickey sized bottle that you can make these combinations of all these different whiskeys and then add it to one, and it's like the bottle says my blend, and it's like all blank. You can add your like what's in it and like what's the flavor notes and stuff like that. So it's really cool. I had lots of fun of making my own style of whiskey. Because I know nothing really about whiskey. There was like some like 4 different kinds that you can try making yourself, and I ended up making one that's supposed to be just on the rocks. I mean, obviously, I'm a little bitch, so I'm not gonna just drink whiskey on the rocks. I'm gonna try to attempt to make my half-assed version of a old fashioned or mix it with something. But this recipe that they had on there, it utilized all of the 5 different bottles, so that's why I wanted to try that one, because I wanted to see what they would all taste like together. And it's really nice actually. It's really nice. I'm making right now. Not what I'm making. What I'm having right now is 1 ounce of that Caucasian and Caucasian. What is the concoction? That's what I was trying to say. Of whiskeys. It's that just an ounce of that. Then just a little ounce of water just to dilute it a little bit, and then an ounce and a half of just a regular simple syrup, and then ice cube, and then um, instead of a what I keep grapefruit. I don't know why grapefruit always escapes my mind, but it does for some reason. Instead of a peel of that, I just sliced an apple and put that in there. Um, Also, the water that I added was also like it's like lemon water. It's just you throw in a couple of that was my girlfriend. She wanted a couple of lemon wheels inside of her water, and we just kind of had them in there since. So our water always tastes kind of lemony. But yeah, so it's the apple adds some smell to it, like some fragrance, but it doesn't really add to the flavor. But I mean, if you take a good whiff while you're taking a sip at it, it does kind of like trick your mind to thinking that it does have a little bit of an apple flavor to it. It's really interesting how that works. Like that's the whole point of having a garnish typically, from what I understand. But I think that's pretty cool. maybe it's not. Maybe it's just really dumb information that no one really cares about. But I think it's neato. Yeah. So I'm just gonna have a sip of this, and then we'll move on to this week's song recommendation. That is delightful. Yes, sirree. All right. So today we're looking at dang, you know what? Actually, you know what? That's what I'm most excited about. Last Friday, that has currently just passed, Tupperware Remix Party kind of teased. No, I think it was on Thursday that they teased that something's coming pretty soon on the 25th of this month, and then the next day on Friday they released a brand new single, and the single is called "Bright Blue Sky," and it's. I mean, it sounds like Tupperware Remix Party, but it sounds new. Like it sounds really like it sounds like Tupperware Remix Party, but like different in a way. I think one of the main things is that like it sounds like a twerp song, but they added like actual vocals to it, and like you can tell it's like the actual guys' vocals. It's not just the vocoder vocals. I mean, they've been kind of playing with that for like the past like 2 albums a little bit, but this time it's like full on like actual kind of like backup vocals, and it's really really cool. Again, Lord Phobos on lead guitar there. He does an excellent job. He's just got a really cool solo in there. But yeah, and then they also all the guys got like a costume upgrade. Mostly Commander Meouch, the bass player, and Dr. Sung, the vocalist, well, vocoderist, and the synthesist, the guy who plays the synthesizer there. He also got an upgrade. I think the only one who hasn't had a costume upgrade so far has been Have Hogan or Have Hogan. I'm not too sure how to pronounce his name. The drummer for Tupperware Remix Party. I think he's the only one who's continuously had the same costume the entire time, because I know Lord Phobos had a costume upgrade a little while ago, and then I know Dr. Sung had his upgraded pretty recently too, but now he got another new one. He's got some bigger shoulder pads now, which looks really cool. And then yeah, Commander Meouch got I think he got like the biggest like upgrade so far. He's got like a little hat now and everything like that. He looks really cool. So yeah, I'm interested to see how they upgrade Have Hogan's costume pretty soon. But yeah, so I mean they got a music video out for it as well. So I highly recommend going to check it out. It's a pretty upbeat song. From what I understand from the lyrics, it's like a kind of like look towards better days, like everything kind of sucks right now, but like, there's a bright blue sky out there, like there's going to be better days. I think that's the whole premise of the song, if I'm not wrong. At least that's the vibe that I get from it. So yeah, go check that out. Bright Blue Sky from Tupperware Remix Party on their new album. They'll be coming out on the 25th. New and improved, and also the new artwork. The artwork for that album looks really cool too. It's the 4 guys on each side, kind of like they look like they're like kind of like in the clouds sort of thing, and then in the middle there's just like this gigantic like spiky looking like whenever dandelions turn into like the the white version of itself, and then like it, you blow on it and like all like the seeds go flying everywhere. Like it looks like a gigantic spiky metallic version of that. It's really cool. I don't know if it's supposed to be like COVID or whatever. I have no idea, but it's really cool. And it's like it's a very bright album, but like this like menacing spiky looking thing just sitting in the middle of the album art is just like, this is really cool. um so I'm really excited for this album. Like it, I think it's been like over a year now since Twerp had released their last album, Over the Top. And Over the Top is by far, so far, has been my favorite Twerp album. Like not only with their like all the original songs and with their guests, but like it's all the songs have been really really good in my opinion. But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to this new one. Their last album had like kind of a darker tone to it, which is what I personally like. Like I love like dark sounding Twerp, like their original album. Well, not their original album, because they have two albums that are no longer available to the public. But The Device is the one I mean, because that one was really heavy album, or EP, I should say. But yeah, no, I'm really really excited to hear New and Improved, which I'm definitely going to talk about. So yeah. Also, this Friday, coming up, the 19th, Ross Jennings' album Shadows of My Future Self, I think is what it's called, will be released as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. So lots of cool new music coming this month, and I'm pumped up, and so should you be. Anyways, everybody, what time is it? Oh yeah, I think last episode was a little bit longer, so you know what? This one will be a little shorter. I don't care. Do you care? I don't think so. So, anyways, everybody, thank you so much for watching. As always, it means the world to me, and we'll see you on the next one.